menu.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Magnus's Loot Crate discussion video. This topic's been kind of itching the back of my brain a little bit here and there, so I figured it'd be a good time to talk about it. So, happy 4th of July to all my American subscribers. Those of you in Britain land, haha, we kick your butts. I'm kidding. But this is sort of a discussion I've had on my mind for a little while. Now, I'm one of those, I don't collect all the figures, you know. I kind of pick and choose with certain ones. But in the case of some figures, I have what I consider replaceables and those that I collect multiples of. And I'll kind of show you what I mean. I'll talk about the multiples first, and then I'll talk about the replaceables. But before I start, I should warn you, I got a suggestion in the comments section. So instead of the static before the, well, when I'm skipping topic to topic, I may keep the static for, you know, like the very end. But in between, I think I'll just surprise you with what you're gonna see. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's dive right in. Now, to start off, I'm gonna go ahead and say, yes, this is a little OCD of me in a way, I guess, maybe. But this is how I keep up with my collection, and as you can see, this is all the bots I plan to buy. Now, as you can see on the picture, I've pretty much got it listed which ones I've got already. Green check mark. You may not be able to read it, but I'll give you an idea. Green check mark is the ones I've already got. Like in hand, I have them. The yellow 0 is ones that I have on order. You know, I've ordered them. They're either pre-ordered or ordered and on the way. Whichever the case may be. Now, one thing you might notice, you know, the red X, of course, is, you know, ones I don't own or haven't ordered yet. Now, one thing you may have noticed is that little orange R in there. Now, the orange R, that is what I consider replaceable. That means that I have one that's a good stand-in, that is a stand-in right now, but it's not my permanent figure that I want for that character. Perfect example, if you look in the Art Crew section, if you can read it, you see I've got all the original 18 Autobots from the first 3 episodes, and you'll see that Cliff Jumper, Optimus Prime, Ratchet, and Ironhide are all have the orange R. Now, the reason for this, right now, that's especially in the Legends. Now, I'm happy with all the Masterpiece size. I still haven't got Mirage. He's been on pre-order for a Coon's Age. I still don't have him yet, so hurry up, MMC. I'm getting sick of waiting for it. I need one bot for my Art Crew. But in the Legends column, you'll see the orange R's. You see Optimus Prime, Cliff Jumper, Ratchet, and Ironhide. Now, the reason for this, I have the Hot Soldiers versions of Ratchet and Ironhide. I'm not happy with them. Now, they are a Legends company that I did not mention in my Legends video, but that's mainly because they seem more little kid friendly than you know, Legends bots. But I think they were an early attempt, so I can't gripe about it. It's one of those things. The reason for the orange R beside of Optimus Prime is right now the 2 that could stand in are DX9's Dutch and, you know, the KBB Mini Optimus that they have. The KBB Mini Optimus is okay. He's not great. And Dutch is good, but he's not big enough, in my opinion. I mean, if I put him beside of Tyrant or even Megatron, he just doesn't have the right. So he doesn't scale well at all. So they're all getting replaced with Magic Squares, you know, Light of Justice. The Cliff Jumper that I have, trying to remember. I'm trying to remember if he was a Hot Soldiers or not. Don't think he was. I don't like him at all. He's just not good. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now, Ratchet and Ironhider, Hot Soldiers. I'm looking at New Age's McCoy and Miller to replace those. So that's where I'm going with that. Now, some of them don't have replacements or even firsts yet. I mean, they're the only Sunstreaker that I'm aware of in the Legend scale. If you notice the red X beside him, the only one that's out is the Racing Brothers version from Iron Factory. And love Iron Factory to death, but some of their bots just don't quite pass muster with me. Like you guys saw in one of my videos, I've got their Iron Factory's Phantom. He's perfectly fine for a G1, you know, Mirage. But some of them just don't quite fit the bill. So those are the ones that I have the little orange R beside of. Especially Skywarp and Thundercracker in the Decepticons row, because I got the Maquet Toys version of Starscream, Meteor. I like him a lot better than the Masterpiece version, but that's my personal taste. Take it or leave it. But so basically, I'd like to get replacements for Skywarp and Thundercracker, preferably the Maquet Toys version. But that's pretty much kind of part of the discussion here, is how do you do it? Now, when it comes to replacements, I want to get the one bot that I'm happy with that is the representation of whichever one I want. I'll show you examples of that as we go along. But basically, we'll just start with that and go from there. Now, I'm just only going to give 3 examples of ones that I would replace. Now, the rest of this is going to be about figures I collect multiples of. But for right now, we'll go ahead and stick with the replacements. So, starting with, this is Toy World, well, Zeta Toys version of Jazzy. Zeta, basically Zeta's Jazzy, who's basically a remold of Toy World's Coolsville. Now, he's the one closest to me. The one on the other side, that is Maquet Toys Downbeat. And I got Jazzy first. I was thinking, yeah, I need a Masterpiece style Jazz. So, Jazzy was, I think it was about $65, roughly. So it was a lot cheaper than Downbeat, I can promise you that. But then I got him in hand. And, oh boy, I hated his transformation. He's heavy, too heavy, really. And he's got a lot of die cast, but that means his paint chips. If you even sneeze near him, his paint will chip off. Now, in the pictures, in the picture of his car mode, you can probably tell that I got the repro labels for it. That was kind of a waste of money in the end, because, totally honest, I didn't keep him. I threw him in the garbage. I mean, he practically, first time I transformed him, he practically fell apart. I mean, his little the little piece where his abdomen and his where his abdomen meets his crotch, just all that, just pieces fell out of that, and I was just very unhappy with it. Now I've got Maquet Toys Downbeat. He's far better. He's lighter. He doesn't have as much die cast, but honestly, it looks a lot better, and he's way better made as far as I'm concerned. So that's an idea of what I mean by replacement in that arena. Now, there's also, right here, I have two versions of Jazz in the Legends figures you see. I have, you know, Rush Beats from Iron Factory, and I have Monero from New Age. Okay, so why would I be replacing, you know, Iron Factory's Rush Beats? Well, as you can see, just by looking at him, he's a little too much of that IDW stylized for my taste. Now, I love the figure, don't get me wrong, but I'm going for the G1 look. Now, I've talked about it before. I don't really need so much tune accuracy, as I just want them to kind of resemble the cartoon, which is what I go for. Now, Rush Beats has got his little speakers built into his shoulders, and that's all well and good. That's fine. I don't hate the figure, but to me, he's not really Jazz. And Monero over there is. Now, I've already said that he's sort of a mini-me of Make Toys Downbeat, and that's kind of the whole thing there. Here's yet another one. This, you know, MP14 plus Red Alert and Bad Cube's Recon. Now, that one was, I saw the opportunity to get the Bad Cube Steamroll, and I did, and I liked it. And then, of course, well, you know, Recon. So I didn't replace them because I didn't like the original Masterpiece figure. I replaced them simply out of the fact that, well, I like the look of the bot mode on the Bad Cube version better. Now, don't get me wrong, I always watch reviews on these figures. Especially as I was getting caught up, I would watch reviews on these figures incessantly, so I would know, okay, what do the reviewers like, what do they not like, what are their opinions, and then I, you know, fish through those opinions and get an idea of whether I would like the figure or not. So that's kind of how I do it with those. So as far as replacement goes, in a lot of the cases, the figures I have are there unless or until another company brings out a version that just tickles my fancy better than the one that I already have. So like you saw in the picture there of my collection, the ones that don't have the orange R, those are the ones I'm not currently planning to replace. So they're not going anywhere from my collection for right now. But if, you know, say if I've already got a Legends version of Warpath, like you guys have seen him before, Iron Factory's Burning Slug, he's IDW stylized, but for right now he's the only option for a Legends version out there as far as Warpath goes that I'm aware of. Now, if somebody puts in the comment, oh yeah, well this company makes one, you know, I could look it up and say, well, hey, I like that one, but you know, if Magic Square starts to come out with one, I'll get the Magic Square version because I love Magic Square. They are my favoritist. Followed closely by Iron Factory and New Age. As it stands right now, though that could change depending on who comes out with something better. But that's the whole thing. As far as replacement goes, that's one thing I wanted. Now, I know a lot of you guys buy multiples of different figures and you plan to keep them. I just want to get the one that is going to be that bot for my collection. Now, I do collect multiples, and we'll talk about that in the next section. Now, to start this section, I'm going to go ahead and show you, this is my collection of RC figures. Now, it is not complete by any means, but I'll go ahead and tell you, if you look directly below me down at the bottom, that is the very first KO Masterpiece figure that I bought. Turns out Wei Zhang's ALCEE, A-L-C-E-E, is sort of an oversized KO of the one over there in the corner, and that is the Generations RC. if I remember correctly. And basically their transformation's exactly the same. Hasbro made the one on the end. Wei Jiang made the one below me. But that's fine. I love RC. She's one of my favorite characters, and there's plenty of other characters I collect multiples of. Right now, I think this is all of them I have for right this minute. But I'll just show you. Right beside me, of course, you guys have seen, this is Iron Factory's Pink Assassin. This is a different picture of her that I got, where she's actually standing on her own, posing with her swords. And I really like that figure. It was a pain in the butt to get a hold of her, but to me it was worth it. I wound up getting her from Canada, so the shipping costs were expensive. But I still got it because I wanted it. Now, they do have another version of that one, which is made to look like Nightbird. If I can ever get a hold of that one, I will. Now, beside her is my Fans Toys FT24 Rouge. She is my proper masterpiece RC. She's the one that's going to be standing on my shelves with all the dioramas and backgrounds and everything else when I finally get around to doing that. But she's going to be my main RC for the Masterpiece Collection. Now, I've got another choice for my Legends, depending on which one I really feel like using. You see Pink Assassin, but down below the Generations RC, that is DX9's Leah. She came in a 2-pack with a cup figure called Twofold. Now, Toufold, I'm thinking that was a play on words. He's too effing old. It's possible that was the joke, but this is one of those characters that I will collect more than one of, and I do have my sights set on other RC figures. For those of you who know my status as a dirty old man, I'm planning on getting the Nicey from Big Firebird, but I'm also looking to get Azalea from MMC. So, these are figures that I collect multiples of. Now, the next one that I collect multiples of is, of course, Optimus Prime. Because who doesn't like the leader of the Autobots? Now, right beside me is my main proper masterpiece of Optimus Prime. That's Magic Square's MS-01. He is going to be the main leader on my Autobots shelf. I'm happy with him. He's the best one that I've been able to get a hold of. The only one that's actual masterpiece size. Now, this isn't my entire army of Optimuses, whatever. Just, I've got an army of them. Now, these aren't all of them I have. I've got multiple representations of Optimus. I got plenty of them. You see the KBB Mini Optimus over there in the corner. Down below him, that's DX9's Dutch. Now, he's a nice Optimus Prime, but in Legend scale, he's not big enough to be actual Legend scale. I would consider him more Legends minus, but that's not through any fault. I mean, that he was kind of made back before the Legend scale was sort of standardized. So that's why you have the Legends plus and minus. Is a lot of those Legends figures were made back before they really had a standardized size scale. So, I mean, that's why it's so hard to get the Legends scaled just right, but that's the way things go. Now, down below Dutch, that is MPP-10 Optimus Prime. I accidentally bought his trailer before I bought him, so that was way back when I first started. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I've got him and his trailer, so it all worked out in the end. Now, he's a big old boy as far as it goes. I think he's about 13 inches tall. So he's a big one. But he is not nearly as big as the crowning achievement of my collection of Optimus Primes, which is right down below me. Lewin Atlas 01. This bastard is the size of a small child and weighs 20 pounds. He's a big one. I've showed him in a video before. I'm at some point, but that one's unlisted now. I will go back and show him again, but there is absolutely zero chance of him being on any turntable that I own because he's too heavy. Now, if I bought a heavy-duty turntable just for him, that'd be an awful lot of money, and I don't feel like spending it. So I may just stick him in the little stand by himself, no turntable, no nothing, and just show him off. But as you can see, yes, he is transformable. He has his truck mode. I shudder to think somebody would make a trailer for him. He's big, and the trailer for him would have to be quite big too. But I mean, I've also got like Power of the Primes, Optimus Prime, Fall of Cybertron, like a sort of a legend scale Fall of Cybertron, Optimus Prime. I got quite a number of Optimus Prime figures. I'd have to go home and dig through my entire collection just to be like, oh wait, okay, so I've got this Prime, this Prime, this Prime, this Prime. I've got a bunch of them. But these are figures, at least 2 figures that I'm willing to collect multiples of and keep them all. Now, in some cases, the replacements, I might put those up for sale or even give them away. I don't know. I mean, some of them I didn't pay a whole lot for, so it's like, I don't mind, just pay for the shipping. I'll send them to you. I don't care. But that's the whole thing. I mean, it's one of those cases where, some characters I want and I want to collect multiples of. Now, I may very well send DX9's Dutch to somebody if they want to just see what it's all about. Because I probably won't really need Dutch once I get the Magic Square version. And he is a bit of a pain in my butt. He likes to turn into Amputee Prime if I even look at him funny. What do you mean Amputee Prime? Well, his legs love to pop off. And I don't like that. So that's thought for me to entertain. I may keep him just to have a whole shelf of Optimus Primes, except for Lou and Atlas, because he would have to go be the centerpiece in a dang coffee table somewhere, or in the middle of my dinner table. I don't know. I'll just have to figure out where to put him, because for all I know, I could make a game of having guests over, stick him outside the bathroom door with his eyes lit up and his gun pointed at him, so it scares the crap out of them when they walk out of the bathroom. But that's just part of the discussion. I'm interested to see what you guys do as far as owning multiple versions of a figure. Do you like to just collect every figure that comes out? I mean, me personally, I'd try to be a little more frugal and just buy the one that I want. Unless I get one and it turns out, no, I didn't actually want that one, I'll try a different one. So that's how I ended up with like Jazzy and Mocky Toys Downbeat. So that wasn't a case of, I was planning on getting a replacement. It was, oh my god, Jazzy sucks. I'll get a different one, see how that turns out. But anyway, that's kind of the discussion here. I'm interested to see what you guys think, how you guys treat it as far as your collection goes. So, I think that'll pretty much wrap that up. So that is the end of another Magnus' Loot Crate discussion video. I hope the erotic yodeling hasn't been getting on your nerves too badly. That was a suggestion because somebody said that the static was kind of irritating, and I was like, yeah, it kind of is, so I'll just take it and make it worse. Why not? It's funnier that way. But that's the discussion I want to start with this video is, how do you handle your collection? Do you replace certain bots? Do you get one? Do you get them all and just keep them all? Do you have different shelves where you put the different ones? Do you have a shelf just specifically for the masterpiece versions and then another shelf for the different third-party versions? Do you have multiple shelves for different ones? How do you do it? How's your collection shaping up? Because I just want a nice little collection to display where I've got, the bot that I chose for that representation and just leave it there. Now, just because I'm not planning on replacing one doesn't mean I won't. Because if Fans Toys comes out with a new version of Wheelie, Ollie's going in the garbage. because that figure sucks. I knew that going in. I watched all the reviews on it, and it was like, well, he's really the only game in town. I've already been warned. He sucks. But, you know, like I said, if Fans Toys comes out with a version of it, or if MMC comes out with a version of it, I'll replace that. So that's just some food for thought, something to get a little discussion started. So how do you handle it? Answer it in the comments, and as always, I've been Magnus Deacon. This has been another Magnus Loot Crate discussion. I'll see you next time.